Hey guys, welcome to Project Metal Music's YouTube channel with your host Young, and we are here with the absolute brilliant Rare Breed. So welcome
Cheers.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. So guys, could you introduce yourselves and what you do within the band?
I'm Alex Mockler. I am the frontman, one of the lead singers, and the rhythm guitarist.
I'm Nero. I'm bass player, one of the lead singers as well. Wouldn't call myself a frontman just yet.
I'm Jack. I play lead guitar in the band.
And I'm Patrick, and I'm the drummer.
Cool. So guys, let's dive into some questions. As kids, what were you listening to?
I mean, it differs really for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
Go on, Alex, you go first.
So when I was a kid, when I first started getting into music, I was like a proper hardcore metalhead. Well, as much as you can be at like 11. Like it's still like the mainstream bands, but I was really into like Slipknot, Iron Maiden, Metallica, that kind of thing. And then gradually, as I became 14 or so, I started getting into punk music.
Nero?
Me, I suppose it depends. I've got two older brothers that got me into two very different types of music. So I was brought up on like mod stuff, like the Jam, Oasis, and then my other brother's more into metalcore. So I got like playing like the old WWE games and stuff. The soundtracks on that are like my childhood, really.
Cool.
Jack?
Yeah, for me, I started off with grunge, so stuff like Nirvana and like Alice in Chains and stuff. But then me and Alex, really, I've kind of been introduced to. I think I started off on like I'd say thrash metal, but then it's just been every single type of like heavy music since that. So stuff from like hardcore, like Knocked Loose, all the way to like Post My Valentine and like thrash metal stuff, just everything really.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you, Patrick?
For me, it was just like a mix of a lot of like various sort of mainstream pop punk and emo sort of stuff. That's like your Blink 182, MCR, Green Day, The Offspring. That was like sort of what I was brought up on by my dad, really. It's just that was what he was listening to, so that was what I was listening to.
Cool. So, who actually got you into listening to music? I know some of you said that your parents and your siblings actually got you into listening to music. Was it once you got past that, did you sort of like go off on a journey of self-discovery?
Well, for me, yeah, it was my parents that got me into that. I remember my dad has always told me that when I was 2 years old, my favourite song was Pulse on My Guitar by Slipknot. And from there, obviously, I got most of my music from my dad, like that. And then I started just going heavier and heavier and more in a punk direction as well.
Cool.
I think for me, I think it was definitely my parents got me into it, and then it was just like sort of ever since then it's been going further and further away from that, and sort of like a bit heavier and various different things. So like, I mean, Alex has helped me dabble in a bit of Midwest emo here and there, and then more recently sort of stuff like Beartooth and Silverstein, and just like you sort of metalcore and things like that I've sort of been dabbling in. But it's sort of kick started by my parents, and then just went on its own direction after that.
Cool.
Yeah, for me, I'd say like my dad got me into like the whole Nirvana thing because I remember hearing "Come As You Are," which, to be fair, isn't really like that heavy of a song. So I think it was quite a good gateway into listening to I'd say heavier sort of music. But then moving on from that, like again, like Patrick mentioned, Silverstein and stuff. Since getting into like music production and stuff, it's definitely good to kind of explore bands like that because they've got such good music production behind them, and it just adds another level of like songwriting behind it. So definitely say Silverstein are quite a good band for that sort of thing.
It was quite a bit harder for me, I'll be honest. So when I was younger, well, long before I was born, actually, my dad was Queen's Guard in the army, and he wasn't really allowed to listen to a lot of music. So when I told him that I was playing in punk bands, it was quite a bit different. So when I was listening to that music, he was telling me that I shouldn't really. It's not what I should be doing. So it was sort of a rebellion thing for me, really.
Cool, cool. Got a question. Ozzy, I will get you to your question in a minute. I've got a question from Lisaboo. She says, what is your process for writing songs? What comes first?
Ooh, that varies. To be fair, I mean, some songs. I mean, our most recent one was actually from one of Nero's old bands that we all happened to be in at various points. And then, I mean, our first few songs that we had was like Alex or Jack would come up with some sort of guitar riff in like our early days. I'd write lyrics to it, then pass them to Alex to sing. And now it's just like sort of if anyone has an idea, it's like put the idea forward. We'll sort of record a rough demo of it using like sort of MIDI drums and stuff like that, and then one of us, if we have something particular we want to write about, like sometimes I'll go away and be like, okay, I want to write about something, and I'll come up with like a chorus or something, then pass it on to Nero and go, okay, this is my idea. Now can you finish it? Or Nero will write the lyrics, or Alex will do it, or Jack, and it's just sort of it varies from song to song, really, depending on who's got the influence at the time.
Cool, cool. Thank you for that, Lisa. So, let me just remove that. Out of all the bands that you've listened to over the years, who was your main influence to say, I want to do this?
Oh,
The tough one.
that's a very good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's made me want to go more in the direction that we're going in now was Beartooth, but in terms of like to try and sort of push this band as like a professional thing, I couldn't tell you what band really sort of kickstarted that. It was like just sort of happened over time, really.
I know for me, back in the early days, especially when we used to be a pop punk band, it was Blink-182 above everything else. That was the band that I looked up to. I wanted to be just like them. I remember when I was 14, I used to read the Wikipedia page for Blink-182 and every one of their albums every day, trying to figure out what they did to get so big.
Whenever you used to talk to us, it sounded like you were just reading off the Wikipedia page anyway. You just memorized that shit.
Honestly, I could recite to you the entire Wikipedia page for them and some 41 probably. I'm a Wikipedia demon. Don't even start.
It's gonna be quite different for me. So like it wasn't a particular band at the time, but there was a festival on BBC Radio 1's Big Weekend, and it happened in Middlesbrough, where I'm from, and it was seeing like loads of these big bands like in my town, like playing in the park. That's like a 5-minute walk from my house, and like specifically, even though it has nothing to do with the genre we make. I knew at the time, seeing Catfish and the Bottlemen, seeing how those guys played and watching them on stage, I knew that I need to do this. This is me, and it's what I need to do.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that as well, stuff like the early sort of like 80s like thrash bands, so like stuff like Metallica, have a very kind of like almost the rock and roll. And this is going to sound a bit cringy, but the rock and roll sort of like thing as like a really young teenager, that kind of is quite like appealing. I'd say that kind of got me into like definitely wanting to get better at guitar and stuff. So I suppose you could say that's kind of like pushed us forward into that as well. But it's definitely a lot of different things, isn't it?
Cool. So you mentioned that you were in a couple of bands, but were you? What other bands were you in prior to Rare Breed?
Rare Breed's
Well,
actually-
none prior to Rare Breed for me, apart unless you consider. So me, Alex, and Jack used to have a little project going that was like a metal project, but it wasn't really anything that we were sort of considering a proper band, really. So like Rare Breed has realistically been like the first one for like I know for me definitely. if you want to ask Nero, Nero's list will be about fucking 200 bands long.
Yeah, the only gig that band ever played, the old one, was literally on our school field with no vocalist. We were just doing instrumental Metallica covers. It went about as well as we expected to.
I've done fucking everything, man. I've been in punk bands, I've been in metal bands, hardcore bands, post-hardcore, emo violence. But I think this is the first like actual settled down with my mates, because like I don't think any of the bands I was in before I would class them as mates. It was probably more colleagues kind of thing, really. Like this is the first time like I've actually been with my boys doing something that I want to do, and it's a lot of fun.
I mean, we had Checkmate, obviously.
Yeah, we had Checkmate. That was an indie band more than anything.
Yeah.
That
It
was
was
a
an
bit odd
interesting
for us
band
to do.
lineup wise.
Yeah.
Started out, it was obviously Nero on his own with other people. And then me and Jack joined, went through a rotation of drummers.
Yeah, could not hold the drummer for the life in us.
You had like four drummers just since Alex and Jack had joined us before you had me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was
really
two before
cool.
that.
By the end of it, the band had literally just morphed into Red Reed. It was the exact same lineup.
Yeah.
Well, apart from like sort of for the time when we were actually in Checkmate, we actually had a different bassist in Rare Breed, and then as Checkmate sort of fizzled out a little bit, that just happened to be when it lined up with our bassist had other commitments, and we asked Nero, "Hey, do you want to join us?" So it just like pretty much meant that the instruments got shuffled ever so slightly, and it was like
I mean,
same
to be
band,
fair,
different genre, pretty much.
even towards the end of Checkmate, I was playing bass as well. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Cool. So, what have you been up to, especially over the last 12 months?
well, we've done a lot, man. We've done
It's
a lot.
been a whirlwind. It has been a whirlwind.
Best
Do we want to
year
start
ever band
with
of all time.
teaming up with Jay?
Yeah, let's
that's
start
the
with
most
Jay, man.
significant thing I'd say.
That was the biggest thing of last year, of the start of the biggest thing of note last year to start with was get in contact with Jay from Reaction Management, who is now our manager, and I mean the team of Reaction have been absolutely excellent for us. They are just really great people, and Jay is absolutely on it with everything for us. So that was the biggest thing of note to start with last year. That was in July, and then we booked our first tour for November.
I mean, that was hard, but it's fun.
That was interesting. It was interesting. It was like first time Nero gigged with us properly was on tour for like 3 days running.
I feel
opening for a Lady Gaga tribute band.
been like an actual
Yeah.
band as well. Like the last 12 months have really felt like, okay, now we are an actual band. We're going on tour with, we're recording in actual studios. Whereas before it kind of felt like DIY, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it definitely didn't feel like the people you looked up to. But it's definitely getting better with tours and like releases, but becoming a lot more important now. It feels like an actual band. Like we
are still very much a DIY band, but
Yeah, no, I was going to say that. Yeah, we are very much like the DIY aspect is still there, but it's just like with better equipment and with better knowledge of what we need to be doing, an actual release plan. I mean, toured with Dead Air at the start of the year. That was absolutely excellent. So it's like it's been the same sort of DIY feel and the same sort of like we're just mates feel, but with just like a bit of a more emphasis on a bit more of a professional twist on it, which is like sort of really spurred us on to like push for it a bit more, I guess.
I think that tour with Dead Air was like the first time where I thought, oh, we could actually be like a proper band now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big learning curve.
Playing, like gigs here and there that we booked out, but that was like an actual tour across the UK with like a consistent thing, like a proper band does.
I think the fact that they were down to give us advice and stuff as well really helped us.
Yeah, we went in that tour sort of like we need to learn as much as possible. Like they were incredible lads to spend that time with. We just basically said to them like anything that you think we aren't doing quite right or anything we could improve on to make our show better for everyone who's going to come see it in the future, please tell us, like, because you're not going to be like sort of fully yourselves for giving us advice, because we actively are seeking advice so we can try and like better our craft, I guess.
Yeah,
and make our shows better for everyone.
It wasn't just, oh, we've been invited on a tour, here's a bunch of guys. It was like, they've invited us on tour, we've made friendships, we've bonded with people over this like month period. Like, they really helped us out a lot.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, to top off that, like the sort of past year, I mean, like you go last week, we played Stockton Calling, and it's been like a sort of we actually said in an interview with a local blog in 2019 that one of our goal shows to play was Stockton Calling, and now we played that last week, and we played the Green Room stage, and we had a completely packed out venue at full capacity with a line of like 20 plus people out the door. It was an absolute like it was crazy. It was
Yeah,
almost
all of the dance
unfathomable
stuff
that
was
we'd
good.
managed it. Like it sort of made you feel like we were one step closer to the end goal, really.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
That feels
Cool. Cool. Could you tell us a little bit about the new single that you've just released?
Nero, over to you.
This is your job.
Oh, up to me. The one we've released or the one that's coming out?
The one
Uh,
oh
what-
sorry,
Both?
both.
Well,
Just
Patrick can talk about the one that's just brought out. I'll talk about the one that's coming out.
So the one that we've just brought out, I mean, so Psycho, it's almost it was weird how it was written in that we sort of pulled the riff out of like an old like catalog of things that we'd written in 2019, and that we
Yeah,
just couldn't really do anything with at the time, but we
we just
properly like
weren't good enough.
reworked it and
Was it? Yeah.
brought it round, and I wrote a chorus to it, and the sort of direction I'd taken with the song was like sort of feeling like your mental health was making you feel like you were losing your mind, and that you just felt like sort of almost a bit helpless. Um, and then I passed it over to Nero and just said like, can you sort of take this and write the verses to it? And it ended up almost becoming a song of many meanings because I'd obviously had my take on it. Then Nero's fresh take on it was writing about things that have impacted um, I think things that have impacted him and things that he sees as a big political issue in that like with there's like the pip around the country like it's with disability benefits being taken off people and the fact that the government said like everyone was saying and anyway with the first time we're gonna have the Tories out and labouring but realistically they've made no changes like you
No.
can't trust either of them like it's every time it's the same thing it's just that we're going to change this we're going to do better than the other party and they messed it up just the same as the other one did. It's
Yeah,
the
they're just
same cycle over and over again, as it
just
always has
disguising
been.
themselves in different coloured ties, man.
Yeah. So we just the song really has like many meanings to us, and it's just one that I like that about it because it means that everyone is able to listen to it and take what they want from it and really connect with it on their own level.
It's 'cause with the way that it affects the world, you all end up in that same headspace, and you need to, you really need to understand that it doesn't matter like what you're going through. People are going to be there for you. We're going to talk for you. We're we're going to be the voice of the people that need to be heard, and that's the song to me.
Yeah, that's Psycho in a nutshell for you, really. And then obviously we've got Hellbound, but I'll let Nero tell you about that one because that one's his song.
Yeah, so yeah, on the 9th of May, our new single Hellbound comes out. It's a song I wrote, oh God, maybe about 4 years ago. Um, I was, I mean, I was struggling with a lot of things, as a lot of people do, and the first thing that sort of subdued how I was feeling was going to the pub, having a drink, and then it came to going home and having a drink, going to work, having a drink, getting through work by having a drink, and it's just like it's sort of a metaphor for that, wrapped in the simile of a relationship. Um, Very specific on, well, not very specific. I think everyone has like the different ways that they read it. You can read it as a struggle with alcohol. You can read it as a struggle with a relationship. I think it's basically it doesn't matter where you find the toxicity in your life. You can find a way to understand the song and read it along.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. So, are these two songs going to be on an EP or an album?
Yes.
Yeah, so the plan is for us to eventually release what will become a 7-song EP over the course of this next sort of 9 months, or the remainder of the year. We're going to keep on sort of releasing singles, and then by the end of the year, we should have out now a 7-song EP. Unsure on the name of it so far, but there
We've got
will
a
be
few
an
ideas
EP.
floating about,
Uh,
but
yeah, we've got some ideas in the works, but that'll be something that really comes a bit further down the line once we've released all the songs that we're going to before that EP.
Cool. Cool. So Ozzy and 2025 has asked, any plans for a tour, and if so, where?
well, at the moment we are currently like in the process of planning out a UK tour for the back end of the year, I believe.
Yes, that is the plan, hopefully.
Uh,
So that'll be just UK though.
Yeah, we can't afford to go anywhere else yet, but hopes for the future.
Yeah.
I'd
So
love to
if you,
tour for
yeah,
America, that'd be brilliant.
yeah. So if you did have the funds and everything is aligned, would you ever get over down to Australia or down to South Africa or?
100%.
Absolutely.
If we were given unlimited funds, we would go and individually go to every single country in the world and play a gig there. Like that would
Australia's
be,
the
that's the
dream.
dream. That is the dream, is to be able to essentially. I mean, this band is just a group of friends. Like the dream is to be able to travel the world. I know it is for me anyway. Travel the world with my friends, doing something I absolutely love doing, which is just performing and playing music and just putting a smile on everyone else's faces by doing so.
I'd do anything to play Australia, man. The
Oh,
chance
absolutely.
to go to New South Wales and all that stuff, man. It's absolutely a dream.
I've
Australia
watched way
being
too much Bondi Rescue. I've got to
the
go to Bondi. I've got to go to Bondi Beach.
Oh man, I've watched so many Australian sitcoms recently. It's really got me wanting to go, man.
Yeah.
So we've got a question from Lisaboo. She asks, "What is your favorite song that your band plays?"
Ooh.
Oh,
answers a bit
I've got
different.
to go with a new one that is actually completely unreleased. This one may or may not be the next one that we put out. I'm not sure.
I imagine it will be.
Mine's Drowning. It's a new one that we've written actually just recently. I think it's one that I like the sort of vibe that the song gives, but also the message put into the song. I wrote it about like sort of personal struggles and things, and just sort of that thing of feeling like you've got to keep your head above water, going through life, and just sort of that knowledge that it will be fine and you can keep your head above water, but it's sometimes you will have to weather those hard times.
I'd say for me, my favourite one is probably Psycho, to be fair, because it's obviously dead fast paced. It opens itself up to a lot of crowd involvement as well. There's loads of things we do during that song to get the crowd involved. And there's always loads of movement, loads of hype during it. It's just so fun to play.
Yeah, I'd say that's the same for me as well. Like Psycho's just, especially the breakdown bit, like
Oh yeah,
it's very fun to play. I'd say that song, and it's still got like it's still got like the punky elements to it in the instruments, but like the breakdown just hits hard.
I think for me, it's hard to decide between all of them, to be honest. There's the personal aspect of me getting to play Hellbound in the many different ways I've played it before, but the way that I play it, like the way that we play it together, it gets the message out that I want to get out a lot easier. But again, with Drowning, it's exactly the same, and with Drowning, it's an odd one really because like when we play it live, it's probably going to be completely different to the record.
Yeah,
But like, it's the only song where I get to drop my bass and just like be myself and just like let like everyone else like carry the song forward while I shout and rant about about what I'm struggling with.
I think I've got an honourable mention. I feel like there's one song that we've not actually, none of us have named, but I feel like it would still rank quite highly on all of our lists. So there's a song that we play that was actually written with our old bass player Dan. It's called
Oh yeah.
Self-Dependent. Now it's
Go on.
one that is basically a big sort of like fuck you to every venue that doesn't pay bands, that doesn't treat bands right, and just the people in the industry that think that they're above sort of treating people the correct way. Like, at the end of the day, the bands are there. Without the bands, there is no music. Without the fans, there is no music. Nobody is above the music. Like it's sort of so it's a big sort of message for us to convey because it is something that we have dealt with and felt like we needed to speak out against because it happens all too often.
100%.
Cool. Yeah, cool. So, get that. Going back to sort of like Aussie, to Aussie, she says, "Thanks so much." And yes, Australia is beautiful. So proud to be an Aussie. And she also says, "I'll get over to the UK. I'm saving as much as possible. It's not cheap to get over to here, so she wants to come and see you guys."
Oh, no way.
That'd be
That's
That is
awesome.
awesome. That is
That'd be
absolutely awesome. Thank you very much. Honestly, if we ever get the chance to play Australia, we will be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, if that opportunity comes, there's no question where we're taking that.
No, we are
We're
there.
going.
The heavy music scene in Australia is so good as well. There's so many great
Yeah,
bands.
we've got a lot of influences from Australia.
Yeah.
Like bands like the Chats, Amel and the Sniffers, like really big inspirations to me. I know Alex is a massive fan of the Chats.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh my
and
god, when it's in Manchester.
So, have you got any plans on doing merchandise, whether it be t-shirts for the singles or t-shirts for the album? Or
Yeah, I think if I'm alright speaking on this one, we
go for it, Jack.
Yeah, in obviously we've released like what is it? We're on our second kind of round of like t-shirts and stuff now.
Yeah.
For our EP, Not Quite the High Life. And they're selling well, and we quite like the designs on them. But one thing we've kind of discussed as a band is we don't feel that there's enough like uniqueness with the like the format of the merch. So we have thought about making like an actual magazine of like documenting kind of like some of our best times together, and shipping them out with t-shirts, just because it adds a bit more of like a personal touch to the like the message of the band, that we will go the extra step for the people, you know, who are taking their hard-earned money to kind of buy our merch and spend time invested in our band. To be honest, I think that's that's something that we've looked into.
No, I mean, I completely agree with Jack on that one. In that, like, personally, the way that like I've looked at it in the past, and the way that I think we all look at it, really is like we're not really a band of the size to be going, oh, we're above all this. We're like, and I would never want to be like that anyway. But the way that I think we see all of our fans is like, if you come to see us at a show and you want to like you want to come and chat to us, we would more than happily stand outside after a set and have a smoke, have a drink, have a chat to you for like 30, 40, 50 minutes, like we have done in the past, because every single person who's willing to come to our show, we absolutely have time for them, because they're not fans, they're not they're not people paying wages, they're more friends, they're like a family. Like that's the way that we all see this band, is it's like a big family, and we just want that sort of we want to have that sort of personal touch and that sort of inclusivity within it, so that everyone feels like they are welcomed in, not just as a fan, but actually as a friend or a family member.
I mean, definitely hit on that too. When we did when we played, what was it? Was it like
it was in Ipswich, wasn't it?
Yeah, in Ipswich, but we like Ipswich and then Birmingham, like places we'd never gigged before, and people were still showing up and like buying merch. And even if it's like 2 people, it means so much to you that they've actually like, you know, taken time out of their day to go, right, I'll go to that tonight, or I'll give this band a chance. Because I think it's very easy to just like kind of think of like less of kind of smaller bands. But at the end of the day, the fans make the band. So the fact that people actually want to come see us is just, it's still unbelievable to me, to be honest.
I think the craziest part is like that, especially when we were in Ipswich and we were in the smoking area of that venue, and there was those 2 lasses that were like, they were like, oh, like, I know it's normally like part of the package, but can you like sign our posters? And like, it even got to the point where like we didn't have enough merch to sign, so I was signing plectrums and giving them to them because like we were trying like we were trying to keep hold of the packages so we could send stuff off to people.
Yeah.
Cool. Going back to like the sort of like the program booklet type of thing. Lisaboo says that sounds amazing. Great. I like that idea.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we can really capitalize on that and like just make something really good and just a personal thing for the fans, because I think it's easy to just look at a band and go, yeah, cool, I like their music, but I think I know personally for me, if I look at bands and I look up to bands, I think it's nice to have that sort of personal thing and like feel like you actually know the band as people rather than just knowing that, oh yeah, that's that band that wrote that song. Like I think it's a really important thing for the fans to be able to connect to you as artists on a deeper level, really. So hopefully we can pull that off and make something really good with it.
Cool. So sticking with like the merchandise, is there any plans on putting your music onto vinyl?
Not vinyl yet. I don't think we can afford that. There was a plan to make a CD for the EP we made, and we had enough interest to do some vinyls as well. Because I was wanting to add some like bonus tracks and stuff to it, but for some reason we just never did. But if the demand is there, we can still do it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think with vinyl it's massively just about cost more than anything, because it's just like, I mean, vinyls are incredibly expensive, so that's something that I don't think we'd be able to do unless we had some sort of like deal going on, like with sort of like a record company. But CDs would definitely be something that we do, because they are really sort of like they're all right to make, like price wise, and it's something that we could actually sell.
I'll tell you one thing I'd love to do, and that is a cassette, because you don't see many bands selling cassettes these days, but there is a market for them, and it's just a really cool collectible. It's super cheap to make and to sell, you know.
Yeah. I know the cassette tapes are starting to come back now. Especially
I think it's a really cool collectible item, to be fair. I think that's probably why we're seeing such a resurgence in that.
Yeah,
because they are just cool to collect, really.
I think that's a big thing that will never go out. It's like physical formats of like whether it's CDs, vinyl, or cassette. It's something physical that's actually the music instead of just streaming it all the time.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Yeah, it's like with I know there's quite a few people in the chat there, and who watch the show, myself included. I do like physical media, especially vinyl, because when I put the vinyl on, when I'm actually listening to the actual music, I can actually read the line, the lyrics, the notes, who's actually in the band, who does what, who's mastered it, who's done this, who's done that, and you sort of like get lost. You get lost in the while you're reading the notes and looking at the artwork. You sort of like get lost in the.
I couldn't agree more with that. To be fair, like I don't think there anything beats really having like that sort of physical music and being able to look at it and just like I feel like you can look at it on Spotify and you can look at the artwork, but you can't really connect with the artwork and connect with what it really is about when you haven't got it right in front of you. Like it's something just different, and I think it adds something like a different element to it. It just looks incredible, and it's just I mean, it definitely is a dream that would be like, it'd be a huge dream to be able to like start producing like EPs and albums and stuff on vinyl, because then you know that everyone's gonna sort of see the real artwork and like appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't really like about the current music industry a lot, is that music's kind of become like a product rather than art, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like background noise, and you take what it is for granted. I mean, even I'm guilty of this. There's albums where I listen to them for like 3 days and forget about them, whereas I've got over 100 CDs and I know every single one of those albums.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's the thing with streaming as well. It's like you can go on, and if you're bored of a song within like 30 seconds, you literally can type in a completely different genre, and you've got it instantly. Whereas if you're on something like vinyl and you've put on a song and you're like, actually, maybe I could change this. You've still got to take it off, put it back. There's a physical like thing, and it kind of shows like how much effort it takes to kind of create actual music. Whereas with like streaming, it does seem very like stuff's kind of thrown away quite a lot.
Yeah, it's that generation of like you can skip anything in 30 seconds on your phone.
Yeah,
Like it happens like with videos, with films, with music, with any sort of like any sort of digital media. You can just, if you don't want it there, you can straight away just scroll past it,
Yeah.
and
That's
it
one
just
thing
it stops the appreciation of the art really, and like that is what music is to us.
Yeah.
It's our expression of what we want to get out there and how we're feeling at the time when we're writing it.
That is one thing that's actually been lost as well. I'm slightly too young to have gone through this and experienced it, because I grew up pretty much with streaming. But like, so like, say you hear a song and it's a bit more out there and you're not sure on it. With streaming, you just skip right past it. Whereas if you've bought the CD, you've bought it and you don't want to waste that £10, so you listen to it still, and eventually that's how you even find some of your favorite songs.
True. So we've got a question from Lisaboo, and she asks, what is your favorite venue?
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Lisa, that is an incredible question. I think locally, there's like sort of a few of our go-tos that like anytime we play locally, we'll go like Green Room in Stockton. That's like our go-to. But I think in terms of ones we've played, now this might change because who knows what Glasgow has in store for us. But at the moment, it's got to be Ipswich from that Dead Air tour. The venue was incredibly cool anyway. But the people there were really nice, and it was at the Smokehouse in Ipswich. It's like the venue's super cool. It's the staff are really nice. It's intimate. It's not a massive venue, and it was actually where we've probably had our best gig on that entire tour was there.
I like the new Adelphi in Hull like quite a lot.
Oh, that was incredible. To be fair, I forgot about
Obviously, I'm a massive fan of Q-Bar in Stockton. Not biased at all because I work there. But
Adelphi was just more of like it was insane because the sound was great, but also looking around the walls and seeing all the posters and knowing like that every big band that has ever come out of the UK pretty much has like at some point played that venue, like on their way up. Like you've got Oasis, you've got the Cooks, you've got who help me out here, boys.
Green Day.
Green Day. Oh, yeah, I mean, not even a UK band, but yeah, Green Day. I mean, Green Day slept on that stage.
I think a lot of like indie bands, wasn't it? I'm trying to think who else. Like, so there's more people than we could name, really, isn't there?
Yeah. So, sort of like the second part of this to this question, what is your dream venue to play at?
921 Gilman Street in California.
Got
a mind blank there in the numbers, but 921 Gilman Street. That's my dream venue.
If I'm going with like a sort of indoor venue, I'm going with like sort of any O2 in the UK. But if I'm going with like a dream stage, I'm going any stage on Slam Dunk Festival.
Yeah, I think for me it'd be like I'm trying to think where did we see Knock Loose, Alex? Was that the Warehouse?
That Victoria Warehouse.
Yeah, Warehouse in Manchester, Victoria Warehouse in Manchester, because that was such like it still had a DIY feel to it, even though there was thousands of people there. That was sick.
Yeah, cool.
That's it there, yeah.
We've got a question from HRH008, and they ask, what inspired you all to become musicians?
I've got an interesting one for this one.
Alcohol.
You what?
It's alcohol.
I don't think I was drinking much when I was 9.
No, neither.
So it's kind of a weird one because I don't actually know. So what happened was, so before I was even like, so I've always been into metal music, obviously, but I initially grew my hair out because of the fact that I hated the barbers so much. And I lied to my parents and said that I wanted to be like a musician. But then eventually, I don't remember how, but I wanted to be a drummer initially. My mum wouldn't let me, got me a guitar instead. And it's just been like that since there. Kind of just been absorbed in it, and it's just my entire life now.
I mean, personally, I don't even know. I couldn't even pinpoint the time when it happened, to be honest. It like originally I was just like playing in the band with you two, and then Dan joined and we were playing those gigs, and I was always like a sort of competitive cyclist growing up, and I always said to the boys like, look, like I'm trying to become a professional cyclist. If the cycling thing starts to go anywhere, then obviously this is going to take like this isn't going to be the main priority. And then slowly over time, I got sick of the constant training and just got more and more into the music. And I think it was probably when I was at uni. Eventually, I just like said like I think to myself, I was just like, okay, this is it. Like that I'm either doing this or that I'm doing in uni, or I'm gonna make sure that I become a professional musician. And that was sort of like the turning point. So when I moved home from uni, it was like sort of throw everything at music, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then at least I've tried, sort of thing.
Yeah, for me, I don't actually think we've not really spoke about this much, to be honest, have we? Like what actually got us into music. We've always spoke about like how we kind of came together, but we never really spoke about it because my great uncle is a really good like acoustic folk guitarist, and lives in London, and he's like really good at it, and he sings as well. And I was always quite intrigued by that because he used to like visit us maybe like a few times a year, and we go down there, and it was really nice to kind of see someone with such skill, and it kind of like at first it's quite like incredible to see, first of all, that someone can like replicate what somebody else has done, and so like doing covers of songs and stuff. So I think from listening to like Nirvana from quite a young age, I picked up the guitar and kind of tried relearning songs. But then I think it kind of slowly just gets to you like, oh, I wonder how they came up with this. And then you start writing, and then you're like, oh, well, if I've wrote a song, I need a band. And then you go looking for like-minded people, and it just brings everyone together. I honestly think it happens quite naturally, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that, HREH. Good question. So, where can people find you on social media?
Ooh, so you can find us on Instagram at rarebreed.band. You can find us on TikTok at rarebreedofficial. And to be fair, those are realistically the only social medias we probably use. Oh, we're actually, Alex, what's our YouTube? We do have a YouTube. It's not very active. We do have one. What is it?
You might have to look up one of the song names to actually find it, but
yeah, I mean, if you search Psycho by Rare Breed, then you'll find our channel. But I don't actually know what our channel name is. But yeah, Instagram and TikTok's our main stuff, and then we do the occasional YouTube video if we can be asked.
We have a Twitter account, but I tend to like post like 3 days on that and then forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really use that. And then Facebook, we do have Facebook. I sort of more so use it for sharing about various radio plays we've had. And we're not exactly up to date on that, but yeah, there is one. It does exist if you would like to find it. But yeah, it's mainly Instagram at rarebreed.band and TikTok at rarebreedofficial. That's where you can find our most sustenance and our goofiest, crappiest content. That's where you'll be able to laugh at us realistically.
Cool.
And please leave comments laughing at us as well.
Yes, please bully us in the comments because it helps our engagement.
Yeah. If anything, I like getting hate comments more because then it starts arguments and then there's more comments and we get more visibility.
Yeah, when people
Also,
sort of sit there and say your song is really good, I like that, but there is something somewhat funny about when someone just goes on and just absolutely slaughters you in the comments, and it is quite funny at times. They're just reading it and just being like, we've poured so much time into this, and they're just bullying us for it. Brilliant.
No, I just love coming up with like really snide comebacks. To be honest, I probably
that
do that for the
it's quite fun.
Someone leaves
it's fun though, isn't it?
My back, to be honest.
Cool. So, guys in the chat, if you got any more questions, please ask away. We're going to be starting wrapping things up in a minute. In about 5-10 minutes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, just to anyone that is watching, apologies about our loss of Nero. If you've been tuned in since before he disappeared, he was having some issues with his his phone wasn't charged enough, and he was out at the time. So he's not just left for the sake of it. His phone has died, unfortunately. But yeah, he's apologies from all of us and from him.
Yeah.
But he did definitely enjoy your company while he was here.
Yeah. Good talking to him. Good talking to him. Yeah. We've had a lot of tech issues trying to do this stream. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, back before we were actually a good band, when we were still playing like really bad local gigs. One of our
That's
gigs.
to say we're a good band now.
No, I remember someone referred to one of our gigs as like just a compilation of tech issues or something like that.
Oh no, to be fair, our gigs used to. I don't think we went a single gig in our first year without having either a guitar break, an amp break, unwarranted PA noise. It was just like if anything could go wrong in that first year, it did go wrong. Like, at some point, everything broke.
I think my favorite one that ever went wrong was when we were playing a gig, and it was as a 3-piece, so it was already scuffed enough because we were a member down. And I tried to jump on top of my amp, and instead of jumping on top of it, I landed right on the edge of it, fell over, guitar fell off me, and the amp toppled over as well. That was just, you couldn't write it.
Yeah.
We've got another question.
Got a question from HIH008. Are there any musicians that you guys admire most?
Beartooth.
Bridge. I fucking love that guy.
Also, shout out, right? So they're not at the moment. They will be. I guarantee it. Okay. Search up Dead Air on Instagram. Dead Air. Official Dead Air on Instagram. Okay. Search up Dead Air on Spotify. Those guys, really nice guys, but also their music is absolutely insane. So please go and check them out because I absolutely admire those guys. They are really cool guys, and their music is just absolutely off the charts. Please listen to them.
Yeah.
Dead Air.
Yeah.
Dead Air.
Same here, to be honest. Dead Air. I like bands that like. I feel like you can probably judge a band when you've seen them live, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think you can definitely judge a band when you've seen them live 5 times in 2 weeks and spent countless overnights with them as well. They're like and gone out drinking with them after shows. They are incredible people.
Yeah, that was such a fun night in Ipswich, especially.
Oh, it absolutely was. Who knew that Ipswich was such a great night out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we walked into that bar and it was just
Revs.
like we just didn't expect anyone to be there. We expected like maybe three people drinking pints in the corner. We walk in, honestly, it felt like something out of a film. I mean, there was just hundreds upon hundreds of people there.
Pub
It
turned
was
into club.
mental. Didn't expect it at
that
all.
pub, ironically, the pub was more active than the actual club we went to.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it actually was.
Cool. Thank you for that, here, Torich. So, any advice for people who want to become a musician, not just like basically for themselves, or going down the route of like being towards like being professional?
Don't hesitate with it. Genuinely, no matter what you do with anything in life, there are always going to be people who are going to judge what you do, laugh at what you do, make fun of whatever you're doing. Just go into it, like all guns blazing, put your all into it, write things that you like, because even if you write it and then people you think, oh, what if it's cringy, what if it's this, there will be people out there who will like the music you've written. So like, do not hesitate to just absolutely go for it, because people out there will be able to relate to you, because you are never going to be alone with no matter what you're dealing with. Just please go for it. Like, don't hold back.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alex?
My biggest piece of advice for be easy to work with. Honestly, the amount of times where we've been sat thinking about, like, we're putting on gigs and we're like, all right, who do we want to put on? And the amount of, and I tell you this, every single time, if I'm choosing to support, I will choose an average band that is just brilliant people and they're a good vibe, versus the best band you've ever heard that are absolute knobs.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. If someone's ever a dick or has been like known to cause trouble, if we ever discuss it, like we've had it in the past where we've been like, okay, this is a list of bands we could potentially have, and it might be that some of them get ruled out just because we're like, well, last time we had them, or what we've heard from this other gig that had them on is there was loads of issues with them, or loads of issues with the fans, or just in general, like as we say, not easy to work with. And it's just like, okay, well, immediately we're not gonna put the stress on ourselves to have to like rein in their behavior. It's not our problem. We'll just put someone else on.
Yeah.
Be easy to work with, and people will want to work with you. Like, no matter what it is you're doing.
Yeah. For me as well, this is something that's like, it's definitely related to what you're saying, but like, listen to the people around you and what they're telling you, because usually the people that care the most about like you doing well as a musician, they're gonna give you all the advice you need. Like, if a show goes bad, they'll obviously, they're gonna tell you that it's they're gonna tell you which bits as an audience member went good and which bits went bad. And you've kind of got your fans are your best asset, because they're going to tell you what you need to change. Like, you can sit and think like this is for obviously playing live specifically, but you can sit in a room as a band and you can go, oh, what do we need to change to actually get better live shows? Oh, well, we could add lighting, we could add this. Instead of just thinking about what you could change, actually like listen to the audience members and put yourself in their position as well. Because at the end of the day, you're not doing as much as you do the show for yourself. It's for the audience. That's who you're
They're the ones that are
performing
going to
to.
make you big. They're the make or break. Without
Yeah,
the
exactly.
fans, there is no music.
Yeah.
The fans are everything in this industry. Like, you have to. The quicker you wrap your head around it and understand it, the better you will become. Because at the end of the day, you can write. If you aren't marketing it to the people who you're trying to, and you're not actually tailoring it to them, then your music will be nothing, because you've got to be the fans are absolutely everything. You've got to play to them.
Yeah.
True. Sound advice there. Sound advice. So we're going to be starting to wrap things up. Any final words before we leave?
No,
Thank you to
very
anyone
much
who's
for having
tuned
us.
in. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
As always, thank you to Jay for doing the middleman work and setting this up between ourselves and you. This has been absolutely excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Jay's
you
been
very much.
absolutely brilliant. Jay's been absolutely brilliant. So, yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a total pleasure. Total pleasure.
Same here.
Pleasure's all ours.
So, guys, if you haven't checked out Rare Breed, please do. These guys are absolutely amazing. So go. I'll put all the links down in the description there. So please check them out. You won't be disappointed. So, guys, until next time, we'll catch you all later.
Catch you in a bit, mate.
Catch you soon. Thank you
See you
very
later.
much.
Thank you.